my name's Camille, and today we're going to be reading The Guardians of Gayrile by Alice Bjornstedt. I met this lovely young lady at our local fair, and this is the first in her series, the Orlel Chronicles. She actually just finished the last one. I believe it's book 7, and I'll put a link in the description to all of her books. But this is the first one, so let's see what we think. Oh, she signed it. That's right. I got a signed copy. It says, "See the light," or "Seek the light." All right. So it starts out with a map. And I am a big first sentence gal. So it starts with a prologue. In the castle of Caercia, capital of Cuncia, early evening. Winter was coming, riding on the shoulders of a dreary mist of rain right before nightfall. Ooh, that's very evocative. I like that. That's a great start to the book. All right, well, Pygmy and I are going to peruse these pages, and I'll let you know if we find anything interesting. Ooh, this is interesting. There's an accent like this over, or accent like a, mark over a J. I don't know how to pronounce that, and I wonder if she is pulling from Icelandic or some sort of Nordic background. So I will have to look it up. I'll let you know how to pronounce it. But as it looks to me, it looks like Janki, Jan space Ki. And that is the High King of the Lisnes of Kunzia. All right, okay. I just finished the prologue, and what I find interesting about most prologues, especially in high fantasy like this one, is that it often starts with something really, really exciting, like way too big and larger than life, like a war is going on, someone's being chased, right? It's just action, action, action. And then you get to the first chapter and we slow way, way down. But what I liked about this was it wasn't action, action, action. It introduced the idea of the conflict and the war that is going on, or starting. That's what it sounds like to me, is every bunch of these different countries are amassing power. There's introduction of wizards. A wizard has a undead army that he's created, which seems like slightly uncommon, but it's just the king getting this information. I like that. Today we are drinking lavender Earl Grey tea. It's so nice. One of my favorite teas. Okay, so about halfway through the first chapter, and my first minor critique, it's fine. This is her first book. We're not going to be too harsh on anybody's first book. Congratulations, Alice. You wrote a book. That's hard. But my first minor critique is that the prologue gave us all the information about who's attacking, who's starting the war, what some of the politics are, right? And then here we have the main character's mentor telling us the same information. So It's not terrible, that's fine, but also, trust your readers. Oh yes, Pygmy, I'm sorry, was I gesturing too much for you? Ooh, that's a cool, like, I like that. So there's, non-humans in this world, and we have a description of a new character who is not human. She has bright green eyes, not gray green like a human's green, but deep green like the forest. Mmm, that's very tasty. I love it. I don't think I've actually. I think what caught me about it was that it's like the eyes, and it's not like, describing someone's eyes as violet or like red, right? Because those are colors that are never found in human colored eyes. But what I liked about it is that she has green eyes, but there's a specific difference in this world between the green that you would find in a human's eyes and the green that you would find in, we don't know what she is yet. It's getting exciting. Things are heating up. Um, yeah, really good start so far. We're just starting chapter 4, and the Rygel is shipwrecked. He's with a new companion, and they're trying to survive in a area that they're both unfamiliar with, but I like their dynamic so far, and I like Rygel. He's a very sweet character, just really like innocent but not naive. He's brave and loyal and trusting. Hopefully, none of those things affect him poorly in the future. Ah, poor Rygel. The characters are so innocent. We just got past a part where they almost immediately trust these people that they just met randomly. They're strangers, they're adults. Um, and I think it speaks more to how the author wants the main character to come off. Because if your main character is always like suspicious and scared, it's not that they're like a bad person, but it does say something about the who they are. And if you want your character to be a hero, a like the best of the best, right? Like a Superman character, not necessarily in abilities, but in moral fortitude. Um, so if you want them to come across that way, you have to make certain decisions like this. Is my main character going to be suspicious of everybody that they come across and more likely to hide from them and fight them than they are to just talk to them? And she says no. Right. So they're exchanging stories in this part, and they ask Dusty specifically how she got free, and she gives a really interesting story right up into the actual, like, how did you get out of your, I assume, cage, I think. They locked her away, is what they say. But she just says, I got my dog loose and we got away. And that's it. So like a little plot thing that I'm like, oh, that was really like a missed opportunity to show how talented Dusty is even as a young girl. Because she's definitely younger than Rygel, though they're different species, so it's hard to tell. But yeah, missed opportunities. Make your characters look awesome. Show us all of their little skills, even if it's not going to come up later necessarily, because it's just a passing story that she's telling. Yeah. I love their lore. Oh, it's so sweet. Ah, their god, I assume, is called the High Light, and the seven servants of what are they called? Oh, they're called the Star People, and they're the seven servants of the High Light. They're the most powerful of the Star People. Oh my gosh. Yeah, love it. I think what why I'm enjoying this so much is that there is such an obsession with darkness nowadays, especially in fantasy. And I get it. You want the realism that is set in a fantastical world, so you can really sink your teeth into it and feel like you're right there. So you have to have a lot of darkness and moral grayness, and people who are larger than life one way or the other, but with your main characters being the most realistic. And not to say that these characters aren't realistic, but I think what I like is that it's just, they're all really good. They're good people. They care. They really deeply care about each other, about the world that they live in. And we just don't get enough of that anymore, because people are so into the darkness, and the world's dark enough. I do have a question though. Why is elf capitalized? I didn't look, because there's a character who has giant in his blood. And let's see. Yeah. So some of the race names are capitalized and some of them aren't. So giant is not capitalized, but Lisney, which is a type of race that they have here, humanoid, very pretty looking with gray. I'm imagining more silvery skin, and leaning more towards elf. But Lisney is capitalized, human is not capitalized, and now just meeting our first elf is capitalized. So I just, a little bit of a question there, why did the author decide to capitalize some and not capitalize others? But just a personal choice, I think, on their part. And maybe they'll explain later that there's a reasoning for it. But it also just, it might just be that this is what they decided in their first book and they had to stick with it. Ooh, this is intriguing. So, chapter 5 ended with the elf Illyrion. Oh, love it. Double L's, by the way. Saying that he has a quest, and just announcing, I think I can do this, right? And then usually that when you end like that, the end of a chapter, then the next chapter starts with a little bit of a time skip, right? And so we understand that eventually we will get answers to what his what the specifics of his quest are, and how he can help, or how the main characters will be able to help him. But instead, there is no time jump, and we go straight into asking the question, could this actually be done? And they continue having the conversation. So in many ways, I like it. It's unconventional. So best part about reading indie books is you're going to find all kinds of little unconventionalities like that, that a major publisher, editor, someone who's more familiar with industry, like industry standards, whatever, might have changed and said, no, you can't stop the chapter right there. We need to stop it and then do a time skip. So, love it. That's great. Oh, I'm sorry. Was I gesticulating a little too much for you?